pick up Modern Warfare and give the game another chance. While Modern Warfare does have some redeeming factors in the multiplayer, like the silky smooth gameplay and the beautiful look of the game, the rest of the multiplayer has still left me wondering if Infinity Ward cares at all about the old school player base, or if they really are just committed to abandoning that audience and focusing on bringing in an entirely new one. Some of you may remember this Game Informer interview where the developers explained that literally everything in the Modern Warfare multiplayer is designed so that new, lower skill players can succeed by camping, essentially, right? And that may sound like I'm exaggerating, but please take a listen for yourself if you haven't heard this already, or maybe for some of you that have heard this already, take a refresher listen and really think about all of your own particular gripes with Modern Warfare and how they are caused by what this man is about to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things we really want to do with this game is we want to get new players in the game, and we want them to kind of like, we don't want them to just get punched in the mouth over and over again until they leave. We want a healthy ecosystem. We want a lot of players in and having fun, and that's a big focus for us. It's a big focus for us in weapon design. It's a big focus for us in level design. Our weapons are a bit more lethal than they were in the Black Ops, the recent more Black Ops, and that helps a lower skilled player get a kill when they otherwise wouldn't, have some success, and then feel like now there's a desire to get better and to get another kill. Our maps are a little bit more porous, and we want those players to have a safe place to take their time, to learn how to turn and move and then shoot, put those pieces together, and then they see someone and be like, oh, okay, now I can do this. So yeah, it's a big focus for us.
But that approach that you're describing there isn't going to come at the expense of the hardcore players, right?
That's not the plan, right? But we want to make sure that we don't want someone who's how to say this, lower skill to have a bad experience. We want someone who's higher skill to have a bad experience, and so we have to make choices in how we matchmake for that. And that's something that we put more focus on this game than we have in other games.
When I listen back to that clip, it really does bring to light all the problems that I have with the core design of Modern Warfare's multiplayer. With a few exceptions, the map design in this game is hands down the worst in the franchise for me, and that's saying something considering I've played every single Call of Duty and every single Call of Duty map that has been created ever since 2007. The maps are so ridiculously dense, with dozens of windows and doorways everywhere, and on top of that, sound design is really good, but in a sense, the sound design is so good that it's actually bad, because default footstep audio is so loud and clear, you are actively punished for trying to move around each of these multiplayer maps, and keep in mind, dead silence is not a perk, it's a field upgrade, which means you barely have access to it. The maps are basically designed for people to sit in buildings, and even when you know exactly where the enemy player is and you try to get the one up on those players, they hear you coming from about 30 feet away, and they can prepare for you with either claymores, their incredibly overpowered shotguns, or even their full auto assault rifles that have a time to kill of less than a quarter of a second. In a lot of ways, the Modern Warfare multiplayer accomplished exactly what it set out to do. It created maps that were littered with safe spaces for new players and old players alike to hide on, with the core strategy for success being camping as hard as you can and melt anybody who dares try to move within your sightline. This is probably my biggest problem with Modern Warfare as a whole. I find it to be really boring, right? Now, obviously, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and feel free to disagree, leave your thoughts down in the comments, but when I play the Modern Warfare multiplayer, I don't find myself having fun. Hell, I don't even find myself getting angry. I find myself getting to be so mind-numbingly bored that, if anything, I walk away from each gameplay experience with a feeling of apathy.